Ladies and gentlemen, emergency broadcast, Tim Talks episode, who knows what. Listen, we got to get right into it. Just got out of the Uber, rushed up to the hotel room, switched into the fancy robes so that we could record this podcast to let you know, stay the fuck out of Las Vegas, Nevada. I almost said Las Vegas, Texas. You can probably skip that fucking shithole too, okay? Listen, Las Vegas is full of a trash city with trash people. Let me explain. Okay, I've been to Vegas probably 15, 20 times in my lifetime. Last time I came was 2019. Obviously, the pandemic happens. I come back, right? Vegas, welcome tourists. We are welcoming you with our open arms. We want your tourist dollars. And I say, you know what? I'm going to risk Omicron. I'm going to put my entire friend and family at the possibility of catching COVID upon my return so I can go support a great American city that produced the movie Casino, some of the Godfather's best scenes, and I just want to do my part to help the American economy by coming to Sin City. And you know what's sinful about this place? How much they fucking tax you on everything, okay? I take an Uber. First of all, I don't know what it is about Las Vegas, but they hate Uber. I really think if Osama bin Laden was still alive, he could live peacefully among the people here in Las Vegas unless he drove Uber. Then he would have been found and shot and killed at a moment's notice because these hotel workers here fucking hate Uber. Why do they hate Uber? Because they don't get kickbacks like they do from the taxi drivers and the taxi companies, you know, for standing there all day and blowing a fucking whistle and waving their right arm forward going, come on, a little closer. Where y'all going? Oh, they're going to the Paris Hotel. Y'all have a good night. And then they get the little $5, $10, $20 handshake. And the next time the cabbie comes back around, the cabbie gives them a little bit of the fare. So Uber doesn't do any of that shit. So if you take an Uber, they'll drop you off in front of your hotel. But God forbid you ever actually have to use one to pick you up. They're like, listen, in the back of the hotel, at the entrance that we don't even publicize on the map, there's a trash compactor and a homeless encampment. And right between there, you'll see a rusted out Uber pickup sign that has heroin needles just jabbed through it. That's where you need to go. That's how much we care about you. Now, if you'd like to take a taxi, we have one out immediately. We will literally have people from the front desk carry you from your room to the hotel, to the taxi. But if you're going to use Uber, go fuck yourself and your mother's a whore. Okay? Now, that's not what they said to me. It's what they said to the Uber drivers. You know, telephone, tell a friend, you know, the whole thing. So I get here, and I'm like, it's a Resort World. It's the newest property in Las Vegas. I think it's the first casino that's been open in over 10 years. It's a big deal. I show up, and I'm like, hi, I'm Tim Castleman, a white American, law-abiding citizen, good tax, paid my taxes, got a good credit score, and I'd like to stay at your hotel that I paid like $900 for with the flight for the 4 or 5 days that we're here, right? And they go, hey, no problem. First thing we need to let you know about, there's a $52 with taxes resort fee credit for every single day that you stay here. Never followed up with, and we'll give you free rub and tug service, or you can go to this thing. You know, it was like the $52 allows you to go to this website called youcangofuckyourself.com and pay it. And I'm like, well, okay, you guys told me about that beforehand. I understand. And then he goes, oh, by the way, there's a $150 per day security deposit. Now, I did not realize that I was staying in Fort Knox. I did not realize that this was some special premier access, that the 12th floor on Resort World was apparently where they are worried that riots and wildfires and, I don't know, maybe meth, they're worried about being cooked in the bathroom. I have no idea why I'm paying more in security deposits than I did for the actual hotel room itself, nor do I understand what that $52 goes towards, except some casino owner's private jet fund or mistress fund, so he can buy, fuel for the jet or another tennis bracelet for another failed waitress / Etsy / essential oil saleswoman that he falls in love with. So I'm like, well, this isn't starting off good, but you know what? That's okay. I understand. It's the man. The man is trying to take my money from me. I get it. I understand. You know what? I'm going to go try and win some of this back by going to the casino. This casino, dead. I have seen more people at a funeral, right, than I have seen in this casino the whole time. I think there was one couple that got off on the same hotel. I'm not even convinced that we're not in a simulation where it's just one room and there's like 12 people in this entire fucking casino. But I go to the card room, sit down and play poker. That's my game. And by that's my game, I mean I suck at that the least and pay and give out the most. Sit down and they're like, sir, you got to have your mask on in between drinks. Now, I did not realize the poker rooms are run by the Southwest Airlines flight attendants. I didn't realize that the airline industry is like, hey, we'll take over your poker rooms. Don't you worry. You got people drinking and talking without a mask on that are fully vaccinated and boosted and had COVID. We're going to shut that shit right down. We're done. To the point that they literally had to deal a guy out at our table because he forgot his mask one too many times. I want you to understand, ladies and gentlemen, you can't gamble in Las Vegas unless you're 21 years old. So they told a grown-ass adult who had come from India and come to play cards and hang out and spend money with their town to be like, sir, if you don't have your mask up, I'm going to have to deal you out the next hand, as if you were a child and being put in a literal timeout by these grown-ass people. Have I mentioned that Las Vegas is a trash town filled with trash people and nothing but call girls and escorts on Tinder? I've never matched with so many Tinder hoes in my entire life. And I know even talking about Tinder will send one certain Alicia into a fucking tailspin of epic proportions because she apparently thinks that I'm the only person that's ever posted a shitty Tinder profile for the public to see. I keep getting dragged socially for that. Oh, I can't believe it. And when I point out, hey, on Reddit, they have 5 million people that like this type of thing. She's like, well, 5, there's a lot of deplorable things that 5 million people think like. It's like, really? Really, a lot of deplorable things that 5 million people like. So you're telling me, and there isn't one, not like I've even looked, but so you're telling me if there was a pedophile subreddit, there'd be 5 million people on there? It's like deplorable. You mean me posting a photo of a woman with a shitty saying and commenting on her resting bitch face is the worst thing that a human being could do.
Tim, you know, of course, that she's going to be the only one that comments about this show online.
Yeah.
Under the podcast,
yeah.
It's going to be the comment.
Look, drown these fucking haters out, okay? Smash the like button, leave a comment, tell anyone that doesn't, and here's what happened, right? So she comes back at me again about this thing, right? That we had already dealt with it. And I had already made a concession. I was going to black out the eyes, which, Sue, you can testify.
I did see the blacking
I blacked out the name,
yep.
so you couldn't see any identifiable mark.
Had no idea who that girl was.
Right,
no
and she's
idea.
not even in the town that I'm in. And she's, and it's just one of those things of like, well, I don't really find this funny. And it's like, spoiler alert, I didn't fucking ask your opinion. Last I checked, you don't pay my bills or suck my dick. So like, what do I care what some random person on the internet thinks of me? And there, again, like I've talked about in previous podcasts, I don't mind compromising a little bit, but not at the point of trying to be, or more important, having to be someone else, just so someone else would like me or approve of my actions online. It's like, I'm 42 fucking years old, right? If my mom doesn't have a problem with it, and honestly, like I love my mom, but I'm 42 years old. So if my mom had a problem with something I did, I'd be like, well, that's cool, but also grown-ass man. Right? Let's get back to this trash town and trash city of people, because I don't want to let Vegas off the hook. I don't want you to think, well, that's not that bad, Tim. Have you bought a soda in this fucking town? Have you bought a bottle of water? Look, it's 60 degrees outside, 0.% humidity. They don't pump oxygen into casinos. I think they dehydrate you in the room so that you have to crawl over to the concession stand that they put on your nightstand because no one's ever gotten drunk and bought $700 worth of the minibar, and force you to buy like a $12 bottle of water. Now listen, I'm a capitalist, okay? I don't mind you making a little bit of money. You skim a little bit more off the top because it's Vegas, and again, you got private jet and mistress money that you need. But when you go and take a $1 product and you bump it up to $6.50 for a 20-ounce Pepsi product, first of all, trash, right? Any casino that serves Pepsi, just stop fucking going there because they're insolvent. They're about to be bankrupt. Someone is lying. It's false. I'm telling you, they have no money in the vault back there because they've spent it all on their shitty Pepsi products. Pepsi, Coke, they don't discriminate, whatever it is. We had breakfast the other day, and orange juice, $7.50 for about what I would consider a thimble size full of orange juice. Now, if I was in LA, I could buy a whole bushel of oranges and probably have a dude make me freshly squeezed orange juice while I was in my car for $7.50. Here, I get to do that for one drink. And oh, by the way, every time that you go to check out, whether it's a place that's a quickie mart, like you go in and go, hey, I just want, like this morning, I'd like a donut and we'd like a cup of coffee. Sure, sir, that'll be $47 for 2 donuts and a cup of coffee. Just go ahead and swipe your card here. And when you do, there'll be this first form here that lets you automatically add a 20+% gratuity. Now let's talk about tipping. I think it's a shame that America pays their people who wait on us $2.13 and that we allow that as a society when the rest of the developed and cultured world doesn't do it. But I'm not one of those guys that's like, I'm not going to tip when I go out. But what I'm not going to do is reward you for bending over at the waist to pick something up and then hand it to me. I don't understand. If you're my waiter, if you are someone that goes above and beyond. You know, I mentioned the Uber thing. You would think I had to offer, several guys, I practically had to offer sexual favors to have them come pick me up in the front of the casino versus the back room, right? And it's just one of those things, when they do something like that, I'll tip them because they're going above and beyond and I'm asking them to do something that they normally don't do. If you're a food service person, definitely agree in tipping if you're a traditional person. But taking my order for the $17 Monte Cristo and the $5.50 fountain drink that I'm going to get doesn't entitle you to 20% of anything, in my opinion, right? Now, of course, karma, all those good things. So I try to do my part, right? Because I don't want to be on, especially with me bashing these Tinder hoes. I don't need my bad publicity. So tonight we have a great night. We go to the Stratosphere. We start the day off at the Stratosphere. Have a wonderful experience there.
It was amazing.
Go to the very top. We want to go to the very top. So what do? We go to the top floor. Oh no, it turns out that you've got to go to this other floor and play Connect 4 and then somehow get up there. So we do that. So we go to 4, then we go meet them and they go, oh, I'm sorry. You normally can buy tickets up here, but it's closed. You've got to go downstairs into the parking lobby, fight a homeless person, fend off a rabid dog, and then when you're done, we have a high construction area that's got jackhammers going, and right underneath there, we have one poor 87-year-old woman who already can't hear well enough, and then has the band playing behind her of all the construction workers who are like in synchronicity being like, fuck this job, go.
With the jackhammer.
Yeah, with their fucking
so
jackhammer.
Loud.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm communicating in sign language that I don't even understand with this lady, trying to just be like, I want to spend money at your facility. And she was like, you can do that here. I'm like, yay. So we paid $50 to go up and see what the top of the Stratosphere looked like. Okay. All right, don't mind. We do that. We go up there. Of course, you got to wear your masks everywhere, even outside, right? The whole, 2-shot sequence in the booster that I got that protects me from dying apparently does not give me any special privileges compared to the unvaxxed, right? And I'm not going to get into it. If you're not vaccinated, you have your own reasons. If you choose to take your life into your own hands, I don't care. You know why? Because I'm fucking vaccinated. And because I'm vaccinated, why am I having to wear a mask? I'm good. Apparently what you're telling me is all I'm going to do is get a cold. I don't care if it kills somebody else. If someone else at this point doesn't have the vaccine and I transmit COVID to them and they die because they don't have a vaccine, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Why do I have to look out for you when you won't look out for me? That's just how I feel. If you don't feel like that, join the Tinder sluts and leave if it bothers you that much. But so we do that. We wear the mask. We go up there. By the way, it turns out Sue and I both deathly afraid of heights.
Yeah, I'm never doing that again.
We were up there for approximately 6 minutes, and we both looked at each other and we're like,
damn, this is hot.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Yeah, the room's getting
It was scary hot.
real scary hot,
Yes.
and also the tunnel vision is happening.
Yep.
And you look over like a ledge, and you're like, did I tie in before I came up to this thing? Is this Everest where I can tie into a safety strap and then lean over? Yes. Is it? No, of course not. We go up there, we see a fire in the distance. We ask the one person that works up there,
The security guard.
What's that? I don't know. It's like, well, good, man. Hey, listen, appreciate you being on top of it there, top flight security guard, Fucking Craig can't even, like, well, I don't know. You kind of work security, and do you think maybe if that casino is on fire, maybe that would be good to know what the fuck's going on? So we spend approximately 9 minutes there. We leave as quickly as possible. While we're leaving, I noticed, by the way, at the Stratosphere, they have about every 12 feet, gigantic 8-foot signs that are like, you cannot smoke marijuana anywhere on this property.
It's a big no-no,
Because
right?
apparently, even though it's legal in the state, in the city, they don't want you smoking it in the hotel rooms. You can walk down Main Street doing it all day long. You can find a corner and, cuddle up with some dude that's living there and be like, can I use your cardboard shelter so I can smoke the marijuana that I legally bought to support the economy? And you go, well, Tim, how's the weed? I'll tell you how it is. Overpriced dog shit. Okay, I paid $50 for a half-ounce cartridge. Now, you're going, well, Tim, that doesn't sound so bad because where I buy it, where it's illegal, it's X, Y, and Z. Yeah, I live in Texas where it's not exactly legal either. I pay a guy to smuggle it up his anal cavity to literally cross the Rio Grande with it. That's how fresh it is. To get a pack mule to drive and carry and get on the back of that pack mule and walk all the way up or travel all the way up to Lubbock, Texas, right? And I still pay about half that for my drugs back home. But apparently here in Sin City, part of the sin is them flat out abusing and raping you, right? So I buy some stuff. It's not that good. You gotta, you gotta go through like a payday loan place where it's like, put the money in the box, close your side, then we'll grab it. It's like, am I doing a bank transaction here, Craig? Or am I just buying some weed so I can get high and forget my childhood? Right? And forget this trash fucking city that I've been in for an entire week, doing my best to support the economy with $18 burgers, $6 drinks. And then, I'm trying to do my part. And then tonight, we're at Mon Ami Gabi's, great place, lovely. You can see the Bellagio if you ever want to take your lady to impress her. Great steaks, good wine, wonderful desserts.
It's amazing.
It was great. It was an awesome service. And then I noticed this table next to me seems to not be getting along with the staff to the point that their original waitress just stopped waiting on them. And I was like, well, that's weird. And then our waiter took over and he was none too kind to them. And I was like, oh, well, okay, not really sure that. And then the manager came out and spoke to them and was like, you enjoy this drink, but you're done here. And I was like, oh, shit, okay, cool. Come to find out that, whatever group, nationality, whatever this couple, this foursome couple was, and I'm not just saying it because they were Indian people. I love all Indian people, right? Don't declare a fatwa on me or whatever. Look, I eat meat, okay? I don't think cows are sacred. You probably hate me anyway. But still, these guys had a $300 tab. They tipped $6 to this poor waitress.
Outrageous.
She waited an hour beyond her shift to wait on them so she could tab out or cash out with them so she could get that tip money. $6, right? So she was and I understand that, rightfully in tears, okay? Again, I don't mind. That's a waiter. So that's a 20% usually minimum unless they spit in your food and call your wife ugly, all right? I'm a big believer in that. And if they're great like Igar was, I don't mind giving even more than that, regardless of the total amount. But these freaking tightwads don't do that. Then they order another round of drinks. Then they yell at the waiter, and then they tip him $0 on whatever that round of drinks are. Yet, while they're sitting there, they're reviewing that day's shopping purchases and showing the earrings with the big diamonds in them that they got. And there's two type of people I hate. I hate fucking cheap people. If I ever go to lunch with you in a large group and we're trying to figure out who got the second drink, on the third night instead of just evenly distributing it, as long as, I got steak and you got steak, it wasn't like, I'll just have some water and be like, well, you got to pay for half this, right? And you try to nickel and dime it. I hope you enjoy that meal with me because it's the last one we're ever going to have together because I just can't be with people like that. And I can't be with people that brag about how much they have and how awesome this thing was and what a great deal and a great steal and we did this and we did X and we did Y And then when it comes to being generous to others, they're like, yeah, go fuck yourself. I can't stand both those type of people. You could put both those motherfuckers in the same line that you're waiting on the taxi, blow up. You know what? In fact, invite them all to Resort World. Tell them, hey, we got a special drawing for you. Come on over. Fill this motherfucker up to 100% occupancy, and don't tell them, surprise, we're blowing it up with you inside, right? Thousands of people dead that nobody will miss. Trash people living in a trash city with trash attitudes that literally nobody in the world would miss because they're so cheap that even their own family has resolved never to speak to them again. I mean, these are people that come to the hotel, I'm convinced, take the 2-ply toilet paper off the roll, separate it to 1-ply, and take the second roll of toilet paper they've made home so that they can dollar cost average it. I cannot fucking stand people like that. Just like I can't stand getting bent over a barrel for no reason at all. I mean, what happened to the customer? I'm not saying the customer is always right, but what about customer convenience? It's like, yeah, see, I don't want to take a taxi because a taxi is twice the cost of an Uber. And I want the Uber, strangely enough, to come pick me up where I am. I don't want to have to do a all-day backpack hike or hire a fucking Sherpa to take me out to some foreign land so that I can be driven 2.1 miles to the next location. I just don't want to do that. And they're like, well, that's too bad. And it's like, well, I thought that I was the one paying for this experience. I didn't realize that I worked here, I thought when I checked in, I was a customer. I didn't realize I was starting my shift here at Resort World where I had to worry what they thought and they wanted. And it's been a fun and productive time, but this city can go to hell. It's just, when is it going to be enough? And the place that we mentioned earlier, right? The cheese, what was the name of the place that did the amazing cheese sandwiches that we like? Do you remember?
Shoot.
It's in Resort World.
Yes, it's in Resort World. It's a part of like the sports bar area.
Yeah, what's the name of it? I don't know. It's like the sports bar is like Bull Nettle or some bullshit like that.
It's
Bull
across
Nettle's
from the Starbucks. I do remember that.
It's not Bull Nettle. Bull Nettle's the home of the worst bartender in all of Texas. Yes. Speaking of shitty people or trash people, 100% that person. Hope you're listening too. Also, fingers crossed you got an STD on your honeymoon. Just saying. Hope he's cheating on you real, real hard and you find out the hard way, right? But needless to say, we go there, we get our meal, we sit down at a little 4-top table, and we see on every tabletop, they put a little placard, if you will, and it says, to sit here, it is $25 minimum per person per seat. So at a 4-top, you're spending $100. Now, luckily with Vegas, that's 2 orange juices and a donut, so it won't be that hard to get to that. But imagine that. Oh, and by the way, were they turning away people at the door? Was it standing room only? Did you have to get a reservation 6 months in advance to go to the sports bar? Fuck no. There were maybe 4 other people in the sports bar besides us, and I wonder why. And you go, well, Tim, that's just one place and one experience. No, that's everywhere we go. It's like, and again, I'm all for making a profit, but how much is enough? How many private jets do you need? How much fuel money do you need? How many mistresses do you need? I paid $900 to come. Then I paid another $50 per day just to stay at the same hotel. I already paid $900 to stay at. Like, I thought when I paid the fee to stay at the hotel, I paid my fee. I didn't realize there was a fee for having a hotel here for me to stay at. I kind of thought that was what the fee was, And again, it's not like for $52 they come up and sing you a song and put a little mint on your pillow and tuck you in every night and even give you the courtesy of a free water bottle. They're like, look, you can pay $12 for Fiji just like everybody else can and suck it up, Buttercup, because if you don't like it at this casino, all of them have it by now.
Yeah, no mints. You're right.
No mints?
Not even 1 mint.
No turn down service, but I'll be damned if they don't check that mini bar every 2 days. Yeah, we're just coming here to check your mini bar and refill it if you need it. It's like, no. You would know if I needed a refill because everything is pressure sensitive there. If you lift it up for more than 30 seconds, congratulations, you own it. I don't know. What are your thoughts? I mean, you've had to. You know what? We didn't get to the best part.
Oh, the best part, Tim.
Here we go.
We have to talk about this.
So I get done with Cheap Ass Inc. over at Monami Gebby. We have a great meal, great service, wonderful show. Get in the Uber, have a wonderful time getting over to the hockey game. Went and checked out the Las Vegas Golden Knights versus the New York Rangers.
Fabulous game, by the way.
The dude drops us off.
Yep.
We're excited. It's a brand new facility we've never been to. Really excited about it. We're going through the security checkpoint. They stop us and they flag Sue and they go, "Oh, ma'am, I'm sorry. Your purse is bigger than the size of a tissue. And as a result of that, you can't bring it in." Now, guys, I know, right, because I've been married, some women carry a backpack size worth of shit in their purse, right? Some women carry 2X. This was not this. This was like enough to put a billfold in, like a miniature small bottle of water and like some lip gloss. That's how small it was. But apparently, that's what we need to be worried about as a country is how the hell are we slipping smart bombs into purses that are the size of a tissue? So we're like, well, what do we do? Because we're tourists and we're not. I mean, that's a purse. We're not going to just throw it away. And they go, "Oh no, that's fine. You see 6 miles over there to the east where there's a fire burning?" And we're like, "Yeah." If you walk all the way over there and crawl over broken glass shards, then what you'll be able to do is put your purse in a locker. And we're like, "Well, this sucks, but okay, we want to kind of spend $250 on hockey tickets." By the way, $200 on the tickets, $50 in fees. Another thing Vegas can go fuck themselves over. We'd like to see that and actually see the game from the inside, so we'll go put it in the locker. So we have to go over to the locker, and you're like, "Oh, well, this will be cool. I remember lockers when I was a kid. You put it in there, you twist the key, you take the key with you.
It's like 50 cents,
Yeah, it's like $1.
Come on.
Tell them, Sue. Tell them
No.
what happened.
Like, okay, so you have to scan the QR code, download an app, and then I had to put my credit card in, so I could unlock this locker, which cost, mind you, not $5, not $10, $20 for this teeny little locker.
We sound like the cheapest motherfuckers alive. Guys, I promise you, we're not. It's just, again, I don't mind paying for service or good things, but when you just bend me over just to bend me over, I feel like you're using me like a call girl. Yeah, if you didn't have a phone, you were just fucked. All right, there was no alternative. It's like, no, you have to download this app. You have to set up a whole account, literally while the game's going on. Then you got to put your credit card information. Then you got to open the thing. Then you got to put your deal in. Oh, and by the way, we're only open for an hour after the game, so hurry on back. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. There's only 500 lockers here at $20 a piece. Are we interfering with your schedule by staying an extra 15 minutes or 30? It's just, so we have to do that. Of course, we're excited about that. Then we go in and we see why it's like that, because the seats, Southwest seating, they could not fit another body in there. You're comfortable, but you're squished, okay? I'm 5'6", 5'7" on a good day, 200, well plus 200 pounds, and I'm scrunched up like I'm like, like I'm in the middle seat, and I'm elbowing my neighbors left and right.
Yeah,
so that's why they don't want you to have purses in there, because God forbid you can't have a purse and a Coke and a popcorn. And I didn't even look at the prices of the stuff in there. But the guy next to me got a piece of pizza, and one slice, by the way, $13.
Is that
That's
what it was?
Said. $13. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, do you go back and get the rest of the pizza? He's like, this is the pizza you get for $13.
I felt bad. How about the gentleman next to me? He was a tall dude.
Yes.
And he was like, I'm like, this guy can't be comfortable.
What about the Rangers fan that was down below us?
Oh,
yeah. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy was so fat, he was in front and behind his friends. And luckily, he knew the people he was sitting with. I mean, yeah, it's just one of those things. Now, let me say a couple good things. Great venue, great game, really enjoyed it.
Yep.
Let's go
Great
Knights.
fan base.
Yeah, good
it was
fan
fun.
base. It's not that we didn't have a great time, but when shit like that happens, and again, it's like, what is the purpose and the point of this? I live in a COVID sanctuary state called Texas, so I'm not used to wearing masks. Also, I'm a shut-in, so I don't worry about going out and infecting anybody because I don't ever go out when the light's out, right? But to come here and have to wear a mask everywhere, it's like, what the fuck? And again, I wouldn't mind that if there wasn't a vaccine or I hadn't already taken the precautions, but it's kind of like, what's the point of doing all the extra steps? I know people are going to be like, so you don't die, Tim, so you don't kill your mother. Yes, I'm fine with all of that. But shouldn't I get some special treatment for that? Shouldn't I not have to wear this fucking mask? Like, let the unvaxxed wear the mask, right? Well, you're discriminating. You're damn right we are. Just like they discriminate in schools, right? Try to show up and not give your kids a shot record in schools and just see what happens to you. You think they're just going to be like, well, come on in and infect everybody? Or do you think they're going to go, well, I hope you enjoy homeschooling, you know? It's just one of those things, again, where a lot of the shit just doesn't make sense except that they just don't like it. That's all. It's like, well, the casino doesn't like Uber. Well, if the casino wants me to stay here and spend my fucking money, then I want to be able to be picked up at a normal place, at a normal time by a normal person. And if they don't want to do that, I mean, that's fine. I just won't ever come back to your trashy fucking city with your trash fucking people. You know, I want to just go back home to the reasonable price food, reasonable price drink. And you guys are like, oh, that's fine, Tim. If you can't afford to go to Vegas, you shouldn't afford to. I can't afford to go to Vegas. What I can't do is afford to go to Vegas twice, right? I thought when I paid for my flight and my hotel, and I had my gambling money and some food money, I thought I was good. I didn't realize I needed to double all that so I could pay for all the surcharges, the fees, the taxes, and the automatic 30% gratuity added to anybody at any time that even looks your way. Like, I'm sure when we leave tomorrow, I'll leave a little something for housekeeping because we've been here several days and asked for like some extra towels and shit like that. But I guarantee you they're expecting it instead of being appreciated for it. And almost when they go into rooms and they're not tipped, they're probably like, well, these cheap asses. And it's like, wait. Like, I'm sorry that your job pays shitty, but I didn't force you to take it, one. And two, like, it's not my job to subsidize your employer's payments to you with tip money. And if you want to know what I did to support you, I stayed at your hotel, right? So, Las Vegas, I love you. I'll be back. It's like a pretty girl. I can't stay mad at you long or away from you long, but I want to let you know that you're full of trash people. It's a trash town. By the way, our Uber driver that was driving us over to the steakhouse, nice gentleman, but he pretty much, you know, and what's funny is this guy's not white at all. I don't know what his ethnicity was, but he definitely wasn't like an old white guy that you would expect to say this. But he's like, well, once those people from Katrina started moving in, you know, and it's like when you start talking to your grandmother about something and she's like, you know, well, back when I was in school in 1920, you couldn't even look at a colored, and you're like, okay, Grandma, we're at church now, you know, like we're at TGI Fridays, Grandma. Shh, inside voices, be like, yeah, we'll just take 2 Diet Cokes to go, you know, like. It's just a weird thing. But he was like, yeah, it's just full with trash people because of Katrina. And then I think he said the second thing was because the Raiders moved here. And I was just like, well, I think I know where this is going. And before this Mexican fella, you know, starts burning a cross here in our Uber or starts, you know, be like, have you heard about our Lord and Savior, Donald J. Trump? And, you know, it's just like, all right, let's get out of this MAGA mobile and we'll be okay. It's just baffling to me. The people in the Ubers have been very nice. People, the service people, they're super sweet. Of course they are. They're making $1 million a month here. I mean, and well, Tim, you don't understand. They have to pool their tips. Well, when everybody's forced to tip, regardless of the level of service, then, you know, you're splitting a pretty big pie. The problem is that the Resort World isn't full. I wonder if the Resort World isn't full because they charge you $150 fucking dollars as a 42-year-old man to stay in their casino. Like, what do you think I'm going to do up there? Like, shoot hardcore porn and you're going to have to, like, repaint the walls or something? It's just asinine to me that it's just expected and that nobody gives a shit about it. And when you raise a stink, they look at you like, well, why are you upset that we're taking advantage of you and making you spend more money? You know, it's like, again, the $250 we paid to go see the Golden Knights, you know, they needed that extra 20 from us. They were like, well, this is good. Don't get me wrong. This is good. We like this, $250, but we're going to need, 20% more of that, right? 10%, 20, oh, sorry, right. 10% of that. We're going to need 10% of that, right?
And they don't even even put it on the website. I mean, had I known, I wouldn't even brought it,
Yeah.
But we weren't told.
Of course not. And, they're like, oh, it's a separate company. They just come to help us out. I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I bet they do.
Yeah. So these guys just come to help you out and on your
Okay.
property, and they just set up, but you guys don't get a kickback of any of this. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, $20 for a small bag. If I had my backpack or something with me, you're looking at $40
Right.
to hold your bag for 2.5 hours. So you could go in and spend $250 on hockey tickets without a single souvenir, without a single bite to eat, drink to eat, commemorative memory, whatever. And again, it's not that the money, I don't mind the money part of it. What I mind is the expectation that, hey, you're in Vegas and you've got to tip everyone to do anything in this town. And if you don't, you're the problem. Instead of going like, well, if a lot of people are complaining about this, do you think it's a good customer experience to show up to a game and then have to be ushered out and then have to walk 2 miles to go drop their bag on and then have to download an app, have to pay $20, walk back, go in there, sit in a half-size seat, right, with your mask on the whole time, of course, and watch a game and then be like, man, I'd sure like to get a drink, but I didn't bring $47 with me so I could get the commemorative cup. So, I'll just drink out of the urinal. By the way, we leave and I'm like, I got to go pee. I got to wait 15 minutes in line. And there were like 6 stalls to go pee in, or 6 urinals and like 3 stalls. And it's like, guys, the T-Mobile Arena holds 20,000 people. Is this like where the crew for the UFC uses the restroom? Like the guys who take care of the ice? Is this like, are we in an employee section? Or is this where the fans are sitting and supposed to be? And they're like, oh no, it's the fan area. I'm like, do you think maybe you could have more than 9 places to go pee for 18,000 people? I mean, let's just divide that in half. That's 9,000. They probably got 4 or 5 of these areas there. I spent 20 minutes in line trying to go pee. I was just like, oh, come on now. So I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to get the fuck out of this trash town and away from the trash people. I'm ready not to be solicited every day on Tinder by escorts who are like, I'm just here for a good time. And I'm like, well, I'm trying to date for forever. And she's like, I hope that means for tonight. Funny side story, while we were researching the fire, because that's what I wanted to do. I was like, well, since our security guard, the man entrusted with our safety and survival, won't do shit, I'll look at it. How about that? I'll research it. So I Googled Las Vegas. There was a lady, don't remember her name, you can look this story up. She last night got picked up for her fourth attempt at stealing a high-dollar watch off an unsuspecting tourist. And what happens, and this is her little game, is she goes and meets affluent men in these various bars, convinces them, let's go have a drink, let's go back to the hotel. Then in one case, stab the guy in the neck with a penknife. Oh, yeah. And the other 3 decided, well, maybe manslaughter ain't the way to go, Chief, and just resorted to drugging them. Took the dude's Daytona Submariner watch, which they said had an estimated value of $150,000. I'm not a watch guy. I don't know. And then took his ATM card, and they have her on camera leaving the room, going to the ATM, withdrawing money, and then dancing when the money came out. Then they go to the house because they know where she lives, and she's got all the shit in there. They, of course, take it back and give it to the proper owner. She's taken to jail, where she gets released on a $50 bond.
$50?
For her 4th
Wow.
offense. $50. She's out. She's out right now, probably running that scam on somebody. And if 4 dudes have come forward, how many people has she done this to that were too ashamed?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're too embarrassed.
Yeah, because the dude last
Right.
night, he had a wife,
Right.
and they were staying at the Wynn, but he rented a different hotel room in a different casino so that him and his new lady friend could have some sexy time. And her involvement in sexy time is, let's see if I can drug you to the point of unconscious, steal anything from you, and then hope you're too ashamed to call the police, because admitting what you've done and the fact that you got suckered in a shit town full of shit people.
I wonder how that went down. Do you think the guy showed up without his watch and the wife was like, hey, honey,
Nope.
what happened?
He woke up, fell out of it, and noticed that his watch and his debit card and his credit cards and such were missing. So he called the police right from the hotel. They came up, took the statement, got the video, and that's how they found out. So he at least fessed up to it. But after that police report was taken and after all this was done, he still had to go home to mama.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. He probably went home to mama and was like, I don't know, something happened. I think there was a lady, she was getting attacked, and I fought these guys off, and they beat the shit out of me, right? Like, what do you even say to, like, hey, babe, hey, could you just not go on the internet ever again? Like, I want to let you know, I called back home, and I had the internet shut off to the entire town, because fuck you, because I don't want to see, but like.
Yes, if this is you, sir, and you're listening to this podcast, please let us know what happened.
Yeah.
I'm dying to know.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'll have to look and see if it's got your name on the report that I read. Not report. I'll call it a news story, Tim. If it does, I'm going to set up a Google alert for that because I'll be checking the divorce proceedings in every major metropolitan city. And when she goes before the judge, your wife does, and he goes, what happened, madam? She'll go, Your Honor, listen, my husband convinced me to go to Las Vegas, Nevada, a shithole town full of shithole people, and he found the love of his life. She drugged him, stabbed him with a penknife in his neck, took all his money, and then he had to call the police, report it. They were found, and Your Honor, he told me that we were through, that he had found the woman of his dreams, that he had never felt like he had the night with her. Now, sure, it was probably fentanyl and all the drugs coursing through his body that she was feeding him, but that's what happens when you vacation in a trash town with trash people. If you sleep with dogs, you're going to wind up with fleas, as they say. And if this lady who did all this ever hears, yes, I am calling you a dog. Please don't come find me at the Resort World and stab me in the neck or murder any of my family if we happen to make the mistake of ever coming back to your city. I hope this entire place dries up like California. I hope it catches fire. I hope all the police and the fire departments just leave the city. They just go, fuck it, let it burn. I hope anyone that survives is taken out by some Elon Musk Tesla bomb factory that he's got. Maybe they'll start doing nuclear testing here again. Whatever they can do to get rid of Las Vegas, Nevada, and the people that inhabit it, I 100% support. I am Tim Castleman, and that is the platform that I am running on for president in 2024. 49 states, fuck Nevada, and we can soldier on and win the war. If you live in Las Vegas, finish graduating high school, do better for yourself. Get away from this shithole town full of shithole people and go see what the rest of the world looks like, where you actually have to work for your money and you don't just go to stand there and go, would you like a tea? Yes, that'll be $72, and we've already added a 42% gratuity for your convenience. Have a nice day.